What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. Season 2, episodes 11, 12, and full season. So in these episodes, Lami, Shui, and Boxo, they go to the scorching sand stratum to search for Heavy, and basically when they get there, they meet up with Bishro, and then they come across Doctor Scorching, who had captured a commander of the Netherlord. So after going around searching for Heavy, to reveal that childhood friend of his, like the boots that Lami's won, were a gift that he had given to a childhood friend years before, but she was killed by bandits. And to reveal that that whole incident caused him to be obsessed with shoes. And so basically he wants to avenge his friend. And so then they go, so they all join Heavy to, then Hulimi, Kikoyu, Botan, Kuroyada arrive. And basically the whole group goes to the desert pillar to find Tashte. And then, once they get through this illusion that's high in the tower, and it's revealed that that basically the bandits in there who Tashte leads, called the Billion Flames, or that they work for the Netherlord. And so that group was the one that killed Heavy's friend. So after that happens, basically the bandits are defeated, and then there's this ogre's revealed to be the Stroud Lord, so they didn't figure out how to defeat the ogre, so Heavy and Box's idea is to give alcohol to the ogre, which makes it drunk out to sleep. And basically Hulami comes up with creates a chemical that can weaken it, and which allows Bishwa and Lamis to kill it. And basically Boxo, Misho, Lamis get a lot of experience points. Then Kikoyu absorbs the monster. Then they start searching for Tashte, but they find him frozen in ice. Then this snow fairy called Solreem appears. So Kikoyu, Botan, and Kuroyada confront her. Then Solreem kills Tashte. And so that's the reason she works for the Neverlord. The Neverlord is that he saved her from some humans back in the day. So then it's revealed that Solreem is an alternate future version of Kikoyu. So Kikoyu then, basically since it's her 18th birthday, her powers get amplified and she's able to defeat Solreem. And Boxo starts being attracted to Kikoyu. Lamis gets jealous. Then the whole group gets into a snowball fight. Then Solreem recruits Cariol and his family to help defeat Boxo and Lamis. So yeah, I like these episodes. Thought they were good. Interesting with their style with Solreem. As far as this whole season, I really liked it. It was interesting Kiwi get developed instead of just being the foot fetish guy. So they made him more relevant. They actually made him explain some of his past. But this whole season, it's been very funny, like all the fantasy stuff, the humor. See, I really like this season, and I'm looking forward to season 3. Clevatess, season 1, episodes 11, 12, and full season. Yes, season 2 has been announced for Clevatess. So, yeah, so Tala asked Alicia about the other heroes that Clevatess killed. Alicia says she's the only survivor. So Alicia decides to help Tala, defend the kingdom and reveals that Luna's alive. And yeah, and then the Hayden King uses Luna to open the forge. Clint questions the Hayden King's motives, and shown that the ones who become king thrown inside the forge, then revived as a new king cannot disobey the forge, which is how the king was revived, the current king. So that Luna's real name is Toth, and shown that the Clint the Luna that he dropped in was a duplicate, that Clint still is the real one. And then the king decides to throw himself to the forge where they make it destroy Clint and Luna. Then Doral heads to the forge but is confronted by Ron and Gart. Then Alicia confronts Doral, and so Doral is killed, but then he's revived due to his new demon powers into a much stronger form. Because of course anime transformations are going to be stronger forms. And so yeah, so then they start fighting the Doral gate. Clint finds the book at Toa, which is a book that appeared when the Forge destroyed, and basically it's behind the Forge's existence, Hayden's motives, and the reason the heroes all try to kill him. So Clint at first decides to leave Luna and go back to his home. Alicia confronts him, and then Clint considers staying with Luna. Then Delru saves Alicia, and then but Alicia's able to destroy Doral's sword, which allows Doral to be killed. And then there's concern about you know Forden, who is a demon king helping Doral. There's a concern about human appear, but Clint says that won't happen. And Clint lets Luna decide whether or not he'll go to stay with him or walk to his where. So Luna takes his first steps basically, and walks towards Tala. They basically reunites with his mother. And so Clint still has the book. And, and then Clint's warned by some salamander that how Forden might respond to what happened. And so, Doral's allies surrender. And, once everyone recovers, so then, Clint, Nelru, and Alicia are brought to the throne room where Luna's basically serving as king. And, Nelru's, concerned because, she's like a peasant. She breastfed the king. Tala says it's fine. She thanks her for taking care of Luna. And Clint requests to become Luna's magic instructor as like a reward for his help. And Alicia becomes his assistant. So that's setting up how season 2 is gonna go. So yeah, I really like these 2 episodes. That they're pretty good. Like this whole season, like the dark fantasy whole deal, like a demon lord, like teaching a human king stuff that could be interesting. I like the premise, like this, this story. So yeah, I really like this season. Looking forward to the next season. New Saga episodes 11, 12, and full series. So in these episodes, so Kyle has like his duel against a male demon, whose name is Garnius. So and you know basically, so he's able to like trap him and then like kill him. It's revealed that you know Ruzia is avoiding war. The Demon King Ruzia is trying to avoid war with humans and wants to use the Holy Sword to keep the demons under control. But there's a lot of demons who do want a war who are trying to usurp her from the throne. Kyle asks if one of the heirs is a hornless demon with black wings, and Garnius doesn't know who that is. Now the Garnius offers Kyle to a chance to meet Ruzia to ask her about heirs, but of course he's lying. Kyle knows it. But then Garnius summons an assassin demon, and Kyle kills it. Instantly, he had met Garnius in the future, where Garnius had killed a lot of Kyle's friends. So Kyle throws Garnius into the volcano and kills him. And he now knows the location of the Demon King's castle. And then, while this is going on, the female, whose name is Yuliga, she surrenders. And then, yeah. And, Theron, Destroyer tries to attack her, and he kills a demon that was sent there to kill Yuliga. Now, Theron says he was trying to save her, but he keeps himself that basically he just missed. And what he said, by instinct, he has switched targets. And so Liga says she looks forward to fighting Lise and Urza again. So in the next episode, of course, it's like basically everyone dealing with the fallout. So it's that Miranda had caused the problems with Go's money in order effort to bring her and you know and Gaz's together, like closer together. So yeah, and showing that basically Kyle wants like Kyle wants Miranda to keep people from figuring out about golems, so that basically they guess to keep the secret safe and to protect, I guess, so no enemy humans are able to use it to gain advantage of the war, so that they can be united in against the demons. And so and then basically Kyle's group like goes to like this other kingdom there and basically are invited to a party, and Kyle meets Prince Mazes, who wants to have Kyle serve him, but and if he refuses, basically wants to kill him. So that's setting up like you know that looks like that's setting up future seasons, if future arcs, if this does get season two, which to my knowledge it's not. And there's a whole some like voiceless dialogue where some black-haired woman's talking with Kyle during the whole music. So I'm like, I would like to hear what the dialogue was and who is that, because Kyle did seem to recognize her. And yeah, so yeah, I liked it. These and it looks like Kyle's mother is pregnant, so it's like Kyle's gonna have a sibling. And then there's a whole random bit of Go trying to like seemingly shoot a shot with Sildonia. So basically, he has Sildonia, who's like the talking sword, to stay forever. And Sedalia says no, she has to go with Kyle. And it's heavily implied that Ghost starts in the future when Kyle's known by many names. Apparently, his nickname, the lecherous hero. It's implied that Ghost started that rumor out of jealousy because of Urza, Lise, and Sildonia. So yeah, so thought that I thought it was a good. These episodes were pretty good. I really like this season, like this show. Interested in all the stuff with the demons, setting up all the setup for everything that's about to happen in 3 years within the show. But yeah, I really like this show. I hope we get season two, but if we not, I still enjoyed this series. That's in the Shield Heroes season 4, episodes 10 and 11. So in these episodes, so Raftelia decides to become a become the Empress, and so yeah, so basically then so there's this Mika who's like trying to get involved, trying to get Raftelia to make peace with the current royal family, and then yeah, so then there's whole deal with Shildina. So Shildina is the Miko who is you know is Sedina's sister. Basically, she was born after Sedina had left Quintenlo, and then yeah, so and then basically Sedina starts taking this stuff, and she turns an adult version of Raftelia, which I guess she goes crazy and starts attacking people, which makes people afraid of Raftelia. And then yeah, so and then yeah, and that's setting up I guess the next week, which I believe is the finale, to where the end of of Raftelia taking her place on the throne, the enemy royals finally being defeated. So yeah, I like these episodes. You know, I was fine with them. They're decent. Shildina seems to be an interesting character, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Hell Teacher Noob 2025, episodes 11 and 12. So in these episodes, yeah, so Tamabo returns and offers a temporary truce with Noob. Basically, he wants to learn about Noob's powers and basically becomes the school, I guess, basically the school nurse. And then see this spirit mistfish appear and cause problems. And so then Noob tries to fight all the yokai back, and then he's really hurt. He basically he can't hold it off on his own. So then Amo decides to help, and then yeah, they're able to defeat the yokai. And then basically Tama seems to have an issue regarding becoming a Yoko, and his subordinate Suwa Pukimaru seems to be concerned about it. Yeah, so yeah, I really like these two episodes. It was interesting. Tama return seems is interesting. Foil for Noob, and yeah, Noob just how he's trying to protect his students. Obviously, that's a big thing with Tama, basically not understanding, I guess, fully how Noob is he says the source of his strength is the care his students have for him. But yeah, I really like these episodes. Looking forward to the next one. Smurfs 2025. So this like just premiered on on Paramount Plus. I didn't watch it in theaters, so I watched it on streaming. I didn't want to pay for it. I'm glad I didn't pay for it, like in theaters. So basically, Gargamel's brother Rosamel was part of like this intergalactic evil wizard alliance that tried to use four magic books. Basically, years ago, for the intergalactic evil wizard alliance, tried to use these four magic books to rule the universe and destroy all goodness. But basically, one of the books named Jaunty escaped and hides in Smurf Village. And so, yeah, then, years later, you have No Name Smurf who's trying to find his thing because everyone else has a thing. Seemingly gains magic powers, and he shows him off, but it caused Rosamel to find Smurf Village and have his henchman Joel kidnap Papa Smurf. So No Name, Smurfette, Vanity, Hefty, Worry, Brainy, Grouchy, some random turtle. They go to find Ken, who's revealed to be Papa Smurf's brother, in Paris. So the main Smurfs meet a group called the International Neighborhood Watch Smurfs. That's led by Ken's daughter, Moxie. So Smurfette's not the only female Smurf in this. Now, the whole plot point for her being created from clay by Gargamel, that is true. So basically, Gargamel and Rosamel create Smurfette. And so, yeah, so then they've come across the Snooter Poots who are like, basically, it's like some multiversal travel thing, like, basic place that connects different places in the multiverse. And so, yeah, they're trying to find Roswell's castle. Then Gargamel returns to Roswell's castle since Roswell had sent him there years earlier to the Smurfs village to try to find the Smurfs village, and went answer his emails. Okay. Then Roswell captures a bunch of the Smurfs and the Snooper Poots, except for Mama Poot, No Name, and Smurfette. So the three of them go to Munich to stop Roswell. And it's revealed that Jaunty was inside of No Name, and so basically, Roswell captures No Name, and with all four books, Roswell steals the other books and basically traps the other three you know, villains inside this water dispenser. And he didn't. So Roswell uses the four books to try to take over the universe, and he disowns Gargamel. Now Gargamel like frees a Smurf to have like a basically out of spite of Rosamel, and so he helps the Smurfs reach Roswell. So a bunch of Smurfs get trapped, whoever, then Smurfette, No Name. They try to fight Roswell, then No Name is able to use magic powers within himself. So he like to defeat Roswell, turn all the books good again, and he banishes Roswell to another dimension. And Ron, who was mentioned basically he's Papa and Ken's brother, who's mentioned throughout the film, had went missing. Basically reunites with Ken and Papa, and so No Name is now called Magic Smurf. So all the Smurfs go to Smurfville to celebrate, and then Gargamel tries to recruit Joel to capture the Smurfs. So of course the truce was off. See, I freaking hated this. So they briefly use like the main opening theme for the Smurfs. Then they go straight into this really bad pop song. They do that even near the end where they use the Smurfs theme. I'm like, just use the actual Smurfs theme. Why are you using this terrible pop music? And this whole basically a bunch of marketing was based around Yana playing Smurfette. I'm like, why? One, I don't know why. Like, can't they just get actual voice actors? Like, now the only praise I could give is that J.P. Carliak, who does Gargamel and Rosamel, actually does pretty good. And John Goodman's pretty good as Papa Smurf. So like some, Nick Offerman is Ken. Kurt Russell is Ron. Those four actually did a good job. Some of the other ones, yeah, the other voice actors I wasn't really impressed with, but John Goodman, Nick Offerman, J.P. Carliak, and Kurt Russell, they did fine. Like J.P. I first thought for a while it was Mark Hamill because it sounded like because Rosamel sounded like Mark Hamill's Joker. So I was like, is this Mark Hamill? Then I looked up it was. I was like, dang, this sounds very similar to Mark Hamill's Joker. But yeah, the writing sucked. The story, the whole pop music stuff. I'm like, this is some Gen Z Smurfs. This ain't actual Smurfs. Like they should have made it. Like I don't know why they can't just make like a Smurfs movie. Just be like a long version of a Smurfs episode. It's just a long form Smurfs episode. That's all you need. Like that's literally all they need. But yeah, I freaking despise this movie. It's a pile of garbage. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.